look at that. We've got some sunshine here on a nice Saturday morning. It's a bit brisk, but sunshine will help quite a bit. We're going to head up the road to a little bakery. At the bakery, we met the hotel owner's son, had a quick chat, and then got a few donuts for the road, setting out to follow some William Murphy's routes. Be starting out on the County Road 612 in the famous River of Sand, then continuing on to the tip of the Mitt, and there'd be some of the Sunrise Tour and the Sunset Tour in there to make a route up in the northern Lower Peninsula. The County Road 612 route, as described by William Murphy, is, quote, newer blacktop with nice sweeping curves, hills, and light traffic, end quote. We found that to be true, and with plenty of sunshine, it was quite a pleasant experience. There is an army base nearby, and that explained the high fences right next to the road. We saw some interesting signs, too. We stopped, sat here for a while, had a donut, and hoped to catch a glimpse of a tank crossing, but no luck. Further down the road, getting back into civilian territory and onto the Sunrise Tour portion of the route, we stopped for a quick body break at a roadside park. Jennifer did her typical gear-on nap, which usually incites a few questions from passers-by like, is she okay? But this time we had the area to ourselves. After Jennifer enjoyed her nap, we took another hobby, which is Jennifer sampling the local water table. Not too far down the way, we got to our first planned stop. This was a site for testing sea lamprey, and there was a Dirty Jobs episode filmed here. We learned all of that from a geocache, which highlights why we enjoy that hobby so much. Just getting off the beaten path a little bit, and also gave us another chance to finish our donuts and soak up the sun. Now we're on to the tip of the Mitt portion of the route, but reassessing timetables, we saw we didn't have as much time as would be required to do the whole route and still make dinner at a reasonable hour. Seems like that always happens on these kind of trips. We certainly didn't want to miss the tunnel of trees on the western edge of the route, so since we have been through Mackinac City several times, we chose to cut the tip of the Mitt, as shown in purple here, and headed straight across the fingers. Having been along M119 several times, we expected to find a lot of Trillium, and as always, it was one of the highlights of the trip. Another favorite place to visit on these trips is the Goodhart General Store of Cross Village. We stopped here, browsed the trinkets, got a few gifts for friends, and then to the main excuse for the trip, Trillium. We stopped along the road a few times to get some pictures and otherwise enjoy the area. We continued on after M119 and got onto the sunset tour portion of the trip. There were very short jumps between each one of the prescribed routes by William Murphy, so the routes were easy to link together and we didn't have any surprises other than our own audibles trying to make up time. Looking at the upcoming route to dinner, it looked like it took us a bit out of the way, so on the fly I changed things up and made a little shortcut. Here shown in 3x speed, this particular shortcut looked straight and boring on the GPS. But while it was definitely straight, it turned out to be a lot of rolling hills and actually made for quite a nice ride. We saw signs on the road saying, "Bridge closed on Old State Road," but our GPS was showing that we were on Adams Road and there weren't any turns soon, so that bridge outing wouldn't affect us. Of course, what we didn't know was that Adams Road turns into Old State Road, and indeed we were taking a shortcut that was actually going to add time because we needed to take a large detour to get around the bridge. We stopped for a few minutes to regroup once we noticed this detour, and looked like rain was coming. Since we were so close to our dinner stop, we opted to chance it and left the rain suits packed away. As we rolled into town, the rain was pretty light and our gamble paid off. After our great dinner at Short's Brewing, we got the rain suits on since it was quite wet but didn't have any rain coming down on us for the trip back to the hotel. Those impromptu shortcuts had done the trick. Even with a leisurely dinner where we waited out a small rainstorm, we were back to the hotel with daylight to spare, which doesn't usually happen on these trips. This gave us plenty of time to see what kind of an adventure we had signed up for by choosing such a cheap place with no online presence and very few reviews. But here we are back at our hotel. Anything you want to say, dear, about how awesome today was? Some good roads, some fun sights.
Yeah, the sunshine was nice in the morning, although it was still cold. Really great Trillium along M119 south of Goodhart. So pretty good ride.
And then tomorrow, just got a couple 100 miles to get home. We're gonna be happenstance going through the blessing, I believe. So didn't plan on attending the blessing. We don't have time, but it'll be kind of fun to go through and see the chaos as it's emerging. But I'm gonna get out of this rain suit and have a beer or two and lay down.